What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? From constructing this product, we learn a lot about the different technologies that we used, and our skill levels elevated extremely high because we were able to showcase our skills that we learned in the final product. Firstly, we used this HD camera, and the benefits of using a HD camera is that you have a much more higher quality of image. And using this camera was a challenge in the beginning because we did not know many of the controls, but after exploring the features, we were able to balance the color of the shots that we were going to take, focus on the zoom in, the temperature of the setting, etc. And also camera angles has improved drastically because now that we know that close-ups really create a lot of tension, and we use this HD camera to portray whatever we wanted to show the audience effectively. The second thing we used was a tripod, and it's funny, but we also learned how to actually dismantle a tripod and put it back together, and how to utilize the full facilities provided by the tripod. The tripod sort of helped us to maintain focus, and it reduced the shake of the footage. The next thing we used were green screen lights. These lights were used in the drama studio where we filmed close-ups of the teenage girl's face. It was really effective because it showed a lot of tension, and the girl's face was isolated from the black atmosphere around her. That was all the sort of equipment that we used, and now we go on to software. We used a software called After Effects. It's right here. And we used After Effects to animate our logo. This is our logo that we created, and initially we wanted this logo to play in the beginning, but then due to some problems it did not fit in properly, so we decided not to use it. This is the stage in which you can change the density of the image. You can sort the color out, and this is the stage in which the animation takes place. It's like Flash. I also used Flash. It's like Flash CS5.5, where you have to animate using keyframes, and all these buttons here help you to animate it, and it's mainly keyframe based. One of the main problems that we faced when animating our product was that this was not a software that we've seen before, so it was absolutely new, and it was really difficult for us to get our head around it. And we watched a lot of YouTube videos and then tutorials which helped us to sort of animate the basics. It took a lot of time. It was time consuming, but at the end we still managed to produce something, but unfortunately it did not fit in with our thriller opening due to time constraints. But yeah, After Effects is an amazing software which allows you to animate any sort of titles, logos. So in that way, this software really helped us to identify some of the techniques that media industry experts use. And there's also this website called Video Copilot, where we looked at opening titles and how to actually create them in After Effects. So that was also a really effective website. After Effects is a bit confusing to use, but the product that you get at the end is really effective, and I think that we have gained another skill here by learning how to use this product. Second thing we used was Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro was the basic stage in which we built our final video. This was like the platform in which we arranged footage after footage. Final Cut Pro is an amazing editing software that's used by professionals in the media industry. So by considering that aspect, this software sort of helped us to explore a lot of features. And here you can see we mainly stick to cross dissolves because it's sort of a thriller opening. You don't want too much action to happen, so we're just sticking to cross dissolve transitions. This is where we got our music from. We got some sound effects um, from Final Cut Pro, but we also use the internet to get sound effects, copyright-free music, and we downloaded that music and we layered it on to our page. Titles, also we use the most simple titles. Subtle is called subtle, that sort of fades in and fades out. And we also used video effects. Mainly we used Vignette. It sort of adds a darker effect to your final product. And Final Cut Pro was like an amazing opportunity, and the whole experience was fun because we were just sitting all day. It's a job that we could just do. We enjoyed it so much. And then we learned how to make, if a clip is shaky, we learn how to reduce it by clicking stabilization, rolling shutter. So we use this technique a lot in all our footage to reduce dominant motion. But the previous version of Final Cut was not that user friendly. It was a lot confusing. But this version of Final Cut, it's a bit like iMovie, where the features are sort of given to you, so you just have to click on some of the options, and you have to constantly render it. So in that way, our knowledge about the software has changed, because previously we edited with the previous version of Final Cut Pro, and it's just called Final Cut Express, and transforming or transferring from that software to this software was a lot easier. And now I think that we've got that gist of editing things a lot more professional, and this is like the software package that media industry experts use. So I think we've learned a lot about um, uh, manipulating the effects and things to produce a really good product. The third the final software that we used was GarageBand. Now we use GarageBand for our voiceover, and as you can see, these little bars represent the voice, pitching, etc. GarageBand, we've used it before in our research and planning tasks, but we use GarageBand mainly for the voiceover, and we made sure that the pitching, here you can see we made sure the pitching was perfect, and we rendered the voice a bit, so when we reduced the background noise, so when we placed the voiceover with the real footage, it was very smooth. And GarageBand is a software that allows you to edit a soundtrack and layer music so smoothly, and I think that's one of the major benefits. And it's very user friendly, GarageBand, to use. Not only voiceovers, for some of the tracks that we used in our final video, we also got them from sound effects here. By just clicking on the different sort of sound effects you can choose, etc. There were a lot of sound effects available in GarageBand itself, so we took bits and bobs from here and there to layer our final product. And I think GarageBand was the perfect sort of stage to build our voiceover, and we have learnt a lot about, even though we don't study music, now we know how to render music, how to sort out the pitching. So our knowledge about GarageBand and the ways in which you can manipulate your product to make it more efficient was really, really effective. And that's pretty much it about the different sort of technologies that we used. Apart from the software, we did use the online website, internet website, called Free Sounds, and we browsed through different soundtracks, and we just layered them onto GarageBand, and then we imported it into Final Cut Pro. To construct our final product, we have used a variety of different softwares rather than just sticking to one. And I think the exposure that you get from all the three softwares is just unbelievable, because the more softwares that and technology that you learn, the more you adapt yourself to the more exposure you get as well. So it will be a lot easier when you go edit in real life. And also, each of these softwares specializes in three different things, so that you'll get more quality rather than doing everything in one. So GarageBand is purely just based for music production, and After Effects is just mainly for animation and text animation, text production, um, and adding graphical effects. And Final Cut Pro is mainly to edit and put your whole product together. So from constructing this product, we learned a majority of different softwares, and we also use the internet as a software. And overall, we feel that our level of understanding, our level of our skill levels have changed dramatically, and I think that we all feel confident using these three different softwares.